Hey everybody, how you doing? This is Dan Blanchard with the Travel in Time with Dan show, where I mix travel and history and leadership. Today, I am at the Soldiers and Sailors Memorial Arch in Hartford, Connecticut. This was built in 1886 at the anniversary of Antietam of the Civil War. Yes, this is a Civil War monument in Hartford, right? And it's the first permanent memorial arch in the entire United States. That's right, this is the first one in the United States. Okay, the reason this was built was because Hartford sent 4,000 of its citizens to the Civil War, where about 1 in every 10 was killed. 400 were killed, all right? That's crazy numbers. What a sacrifice Hartford made for the Civil War. And because of it, thank God, they built this thing, this Soldiers and Sailors Memorial Arch. Now, listen, there is another one in Brooklyn, New York. Looks a little bit like this. It's got the arch, but it doesn't have like the towers there. It's kind of like squares off, like it's a big rectangle on the top. So that one, it was built in like 89, a couple of years after this one. Like I said, this was the first one. So who built this? There was a guy named George Keller. He was here in Connecticut, in the Hartford area, doing cemeteries and some other miscellaneous things. And when they offered him this opportunity, he jumped at it. He was like, oh, this would be great to do something like this, right? So you can see from behind me, the material he used was the brownstone, beautiful stone, and he took that from Portland, Connecticut, the brownstone quarry there. They do a lot of the Boston stuff, and there's a whole bunch of other places that have the brownstone outside of this. But if you go to Portland, Connecticut, they filled up the big hole there with water, and now it's the brownstone like water park or something, like the Venture Park or something like that, all right? So the interesting thing about George Keller is that he's never left this place. Yep, he's never left this place. So when he died, he got cremated, and his ashes are actually inside one of the towers. And his wife too, she was cremated, and she too is inside one of these towers at the east wing, all right? So let me tell you about these Norman towers. If you can look right up there, that's one of them. You look right up there, the second one. These Norman towers are like really cool towers, all right? They basically come from like the Normandy architecture. All right, Normandy, France, you may think of Normandy beaches. You may think of D-Day, all that stuff on the Normandy beaches, right? The Allied forces, all that stuff. Well, the Normandy actually comes from Norman. And Norman comes from Northmen. And Northmen are the Vikings. Yes, these two Norman towers that you see right here on this arch in Hartford, Connecticut, are I guess you could say Viking towers, right? They're kind of like Viking towers as being Norman towers. Now, you probably can't see it from here, but there's so much symbolization, right? There's the frieze, that thing that's running up near the top on the left. They're running across that architecture, that's fancy architecture. It's called the frieze. You see it all over the place. Even Yankee Stadium has like a frieze with its spindles running across Yankee Stadium, and it's all over the place. If you look, you see it all over the place. All right. One side, it's the north side. You're going to see General Grant is here. All right. Now, General Grant on the north side, you're going to see the Marines. You're going to see all sorts of stuff that symbolizes, fighting the Civil War. All right, on the other side, the south side, you're going to see a woman. You're going to see soldiers returning back home that represents peace. All right, there's so much symbolization here. It's really cool. If you could see like those, there's like those 8-foot statues. You could see there on them. There's actually 6 of them. If you walk around the Soldiers and Sailors Memorial Arch, you'll see 6 of them. And they represent the people that had to go off to war right here in Hartford, right? So you'd see a student, you would see a farmer, you would see a freed slave. Remember, this is about the Civil War, right? About freeing the slaves. You would see a stonemason, a carpenter, and a blacksmith. Again, just from Hartford, we're looking at 4,000 people went to the Civil War, and 400 paid the ultimate sacrifice, the ultimate price of their lives. Now, you know when I talk about travel in time with Dan, I like to talk about travel, history, and leadership. So I gotta say, what is the leadership lesson here in Hartford, Connecticut at Bushnell, the beautiful Bushnell Park? Right, what's the leadership lesson here? Well, I have two questions that pop into my mind. And the first one says, here's my leadership question. What am I building that's gonna outlast me? Think about it. This is the first memorial arch in the country, 1886. So what am I building? It's gonna outlast me. The second thing I ask myself is, how do I honor those who have gone before me to lift up those who are coming later? Just look at the 8-foot statues. There's 6 of them, right? The student, the farmer, the freed slave, the stonemason, the carpenter, the blacksmith, right? What am I doing to lift up the people that are coming later? The Civil War definitely was about lifting up. All right, everybody, thank you for spending this time with me with the Travel in Time with Dan show, this beautiful monument here in Hartford, Connecticut, Bushnell Park. I'm not sure where I'm going to be next, but wherever it is, you know it's going to be great. Until then, take care, and I'll see you again real soon.